Hello, Internet. Well, hello, Internet. It is time to have a chat with Chris Gore. You gonna like it? Let's get the show on the road. I need another chair.
Seriously?
Nice.
They're like titles like Dick Land.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
you know what? You can mention that name here.
oh, should I?
Yeah.
Oh, I can. Okay, good.
Let's give us
When do we start? Like,
whenever.
right
Do you need a
I
minute?
just want to run to the bathroom.
Go for it.
Oh, where's the closest?
you just
I'll
show
show you. And I gotta just tell you one thing.
Okay.
Cool. I'll be back.
That dude will be with us soon. Yes, Chris Gore will be here, and we shall get with the chatting of stuff. So, guess what comes back tomorrow? Can't wait for it. I don't know what comes back tomorrow. If you're hearing echoing, you might want to mute all the people in the little cam slots on the side. Click on the speaker to mute them. That's what we do. We mute them so that way we don't hear anything. Oh yes, Beavis and Butthead. I forgot. Very cool. I love the unpredictability of a live internet show. And hey, live cable television too. I mean, we saw today. I'm a little bummed. I'm like, where's Weird Al? I want Weird Al here too. That'd be fun. I want to pick that man's brain. Like I write filk, which is like which is parodies of stuff. So I would love to hear like how I would love to learn more about his process in creating parodies and where you find inspiration, because I find that like it has to come to you naturally. I just don't get it. So awesome. He's leading to try and check this out. Magnetic nail polish. Is that not the coolest thing ever? Figured you'd like it. Whew. Chris Harbour's chat last night was the best. Yay! I'm glad that you guys had fun. Let's see if Chris Gore can top it. It's a battle of the Chris's this week. It's what dangerous? Why am I in AOTS? I see him. Oh, you mean why aren't I in AOTS? I don't know, because I have a few ideas. Nobody's ever asked me to be on the show. So, yeah. I'm also not TV skinny, so. But that's okay, because I do plenty of other stuff. Like write news for Ice Play and host this show, and I host another show shortly after this show. Huh. You do buy tweets. Chris Gore tweets are better. Okay. Alright, I was in the background. Oh yeah, I was in the background of the Marble and the Oatmeal sketch. I sat in the audience. It was pretty fun. Cheered for Sarah. I did. Totally cheered for Sarah. Actually, I need to find Sarah because I saw her earlier today. She had on these amazing boots, and I want them. Of course, she wears like a size 5 shoe because she's so tiny, but I don't know what she got. There's so much to ask. Why is there an echo? I don't know. Try refreshing your page or your browser. I can't help you. Or try muting all the camera slots on the side there. So, why is Sarah not Candace if you don't mind me asking? I don't know. I just thought I was betting on Sarah. Not literally. But if I had to bet money, I figured Sarah's very athletic and spry, and I thought she would be, she'd go for it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm so kind of when you write bad lines, I just go with it. Yep. Or I give you a hard time about your grammar and spelling. Muting and unmuting cam slots does the trick. Awesome. Well, that's how you fix the echo issue. Sorry, I was like, is my thumb purple? My everything is getting purple because this purple hair. Yes, no more pink. I'm done. Kicked you over to Twitter chat. How very odd. Don't know what's going on. Good?
For the whole show.
He's prepared.
Yes, exactly. How's it going?
It is good. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while.
It's okay. Well, come on.
Should I join? Okay,
this is all about you. This is all about you.
How's it going, folks?
Look, everyone. Mr. Chris Gore is joining us. Film expert extraordinaire. Are you excited for Halloween?
Yes, I'm very excited for Halloween.
Are you dressing up?
I always dress up.
Me too.
I always dress up. Hey, how's it going? How's it going, everybody? Good to see you all.
They will be asking you questions on there. So
awesome. Last year I was Dexter for Halloween.
Nice.
But you couldn't tell I was Dexter. But my girlfriend dressed in all plastic. So she was just dressed in plastic. And then I was dressed like I was just kind of like Dexter when he's going on the kill with the skull cap and whatnot. So it was fun. Cool. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Yes, I've been playing Arkham City, of course. I'm a huge Batman fan, which I actually have a couple other Twitter accounts. One is Bat Chris Gore on Twitter. I'm actually that Chris Gore on Twitter. But I also have Bat Chris Gore and also Zombie Chris Gore, where I just tweet about zombies and Batman. That's it, Bat Chris Gore. Thanks, Mr. Monkey Man. Bobby F. Johnston, who's your favorite villain? That's pretty easy. I mean, the Joker is, he's pretty awesome. In fact, what's interesting about the Joker, he's a clown, right? They did a study. This is true. They did a study and asked 200 kids, would you like a clown at your birthday party? 100% said no.
Really?
Not a single kid said, I would love to have a clown. Not one. So that's how
scared of it, or they just don't.
Clowns are scary, right? Clowns are scary. Everybody? Clowns are scary.
I didn't that fear because one of my mom's friends was a clown, and she was a very nice lady, so I never had that fear instilled in me.
Let's see. Do you think they should recast Khan in the Star Trek reboot? Well, they're going to have to recast him because I don't think Ricardo Montalban can play the part. No. But I did hear a really good rumor about Khan.
Yeah?
Yes, tell. I know Star Trek 2 is not going to be called Star Trek 2. But I did hear, and if you guys hate spoilers right now, everyone who's listening, go like this.
Okay, here, I'll do this. And when you see my ear, when you see my hands come out of my ears, that means the spoilers are over.
So what I'm told is that they've written a version of Khan that's and this is something where they're just talking about story material, right, with J.J. Abrams and the new Star Trek crew, is that Khan will not, they're not going to find, the Enterprise is not going to find Khan's ship. Khan will actually have been found much earlier and actually works his way through the ranks at Starfleet to become the greatest captain. The greatest captain in Starfleet, where he ends up being Kirk's rival within Starfleet because he's so smart and can't stand his, inferior human intellect that's not, manipulated by genes. So in any case, that's what I'm told, and I think that sounds really cool. It's a different way, but he does end up going crazy, and then Khan and Kirk have a battle.
So you spend a lot of time in theaters. Any favorite movie foods?
Oh, I am a guy that's I like a Coke Zero popcorn Raisinets combo, like all that in my mouth at once.
Sweet and saltiness.
Yeah, that's what I always go for.
Sounds good.
That's my favorite.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So you hear an echo.
That's
well, the original Omen, of course. I think all those. I'm really I'm sick of reboots. I really think. There's some
original people.
Yes, I know. I am not a fan of the reboots. I think I'm just not excited about those. I don't know how everyone else feels. Please express your feelings. I would like to hear what you all think of reboots. I think it's too much. If anything, I think they should maybe reboot the Star Wars prequels. They could improve those.
Or do something that's like really old and forgotten. I thought the Star Trek reboot was really good. But most everything else...
Dawn of the Dead is an exception. But, if they rebooted Star Wars today, what? Justin Timberlake would play Luke Skywalker? I don't know. Who knows? You've never seen Star Wars, Gunny Haworth? That's awesome. That's great. You should make a video of yourself watching Star Wars. You're going to be kind of disappointed. But there are good ones out there, and I understand... the idea behind the studios, like the Star Trek reboot is also another good example of because they actually came at it a different way. They just didn't try to remake it. Oh, my gamer tag is... If
you want to share that.
I have two. I don't care. Because I'm really not on... All I'm really playing is I'm sort of more the single player guy. I'm Gbone77 or Iron Knee. Iron Knee. Okay. Yeah, Batman Begins was it. But I look at the Batman films as kind of like... because I used to be an avid comic book reader until comic books now cost like $50. Comic books are too. I go to Comic-Con every year and I drop a chunk of money on comic books. That's pretty much only because if I went to a comic book store every week, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know.
I have to restrain myself.
I work at G4. I know what it's like.
So the way I look at the Batman films and also this applies to James Bond is like it's just a different take on that character. It's kind of like when a different illustrator and writer combo come in, and now it's Stephen Bissett and Alan Moore now doing Swamp Thing. You know what I
Right.
mean? So that's different than other incarnations of Swamp Thing. So I like that. And I think the Spider-Man reboot could be really good because that director, Mark Webb, who did 500 Days of Summer, I like that. Lisa, you're tearing me apart! To Kate Tothile. Kate Tothile. Thanks. I love The Room. I love that room.
Yeah.
And you got a degree in film studies, and trying to get into it is the best way to start it and hopefully get noticed. Okay, doing reviews. I have very specific, strong opinions about reviewing films. Here we go. You ready? There's three things you need. Three things you need in order to talk about film in a productive and intelligent way. I grabbed your. I didn't do that on purpose.
I know.
Here we go. Okay, the first you need is passion. You need to have passion for film. And everyone here, I think, if you're sitting in this room, clearly you have a passion for film, right? There's no shortage of passion on the internet. Second thing you need is you need a knowledge of film history. Meaning,
Watch lots of movies.
wait, Solanatron, wait, I'm getting to that. So you need film history, because if you say something like, oh my God, that, that In Time movie is so awesome with Justin Timberlake, I would say, yeah, it's good, but it's really reminiscent of a lot of other stuff. So I think you need a knowledge of film history, even just to have the background to be able to compare different films from different eras. And the third thing you need is some sort of writing skill / persona. And I really feel like everyone, for the most part, on the internet has the first one. The second two are much more difficult. Really, passion?
That.
Passion.
Oh, no, I thought you meant the two parts of number 3.
Yeah, passion.
Writing skill.
Yeah, writing skill. That's the weakest. It's the writing skill. Then also developing a personality. It's just about
figuring out your brand.
I have a very specific philosophy.
Yeah.
And I will talk about this. I don't know if you guys know this, but I do stand up. I do stand up comedy sometimes. I will do the stand up. So, and I don't consider myself a film critic. I think film critics are annoying. Yeah. And I've never considered myself that. I'm like a film geek, and I can talk intelligently about film, but it's sort of one area of interest in my life. I've got a lot of other. Yeah, I would love to do a movie review show with Carrie Keegan.
That would be awesome.
We had an idea where we would call it Movie Lovers, and it would be her and I sort of taking a different approach. I'd love to answer Sir Helsing's question. I'll talk, Sir Helsing. I will talk to you. I'm going to answer Sir Helsing. I will get to you if you're. I don't see if you're there. So I do stand up comedy because my life is. I like to say that my sort of geeky interests are diversified. But I feel like this is something that will help you with the writing, everyone, right? I feel like we are hammered into our heads as kids. Be yourself. You should be yourself. I mean, it's like in every cartoon, be yourself. But I would add one more thing to that. I would add one thing additional to that. And that's be yourself and don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks of you. Write that down. Don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks of you. Now, let me clarify, to be clear. That doesn't mean that you're on an airplane, you take your shoes off, and you stick your bare feet up, because that's rude and gross. And I can't stand men's feet, at least. Okay, that's as far as I'll go with that. But let me just say, that you obviously be conscious of others and be considerate. But if you allow others to have power over how you think of yourself, that's a problem. And that's where I think that, and I'm going to start, like I'm getting preachy here, I think that's an important thing to tell kids, because then you are immune to internet bullying, to the kind of hate mail bullshit. And yes, Ant Farm Dickhole was the name of the film that I couldn't talk about. And the filmmaker Bill Zabub also did a movie. His previous film was Zombie Christ. But he also did my favorite film he did is called Ass Monsters, which you would love.
Really?
Ass Monsters, yeah. But back to the don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks of you. That's sort of something that just sort of growing up, sort of like I was a geek, but I wasn't so geeky that I was with the social misfit geeks. I did not like sports at all, but I was funny, so the sports guys kind of liked me. The guys were into sports. I didn't smoke when I was a kid, but I hung out with the Burnouts because they were into, some of the music that I liked, kind of punk rock and whatnot. But so I was sort of this kid in school I was a misfit among the misfits. So the don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks of you is important, because then kids aren't killing themselves at the age of 14 because they've decided to come out as gay and they're ridiculed by people that they've never met.
Yeah.
If you can have to learn that, be yourself and not give a fuck what anyone else thinks of you, that gives you the mindset. And I just I guess that's just sort of the way I was brought up. I didn't really realize it till later. Like, oh yeah, like I don't give a shit with you that, like,
yeah.
Like I think that It Gets Better campaign, which you've seen on the internet, directed at gay teens that are gay, I think is well-intentioned. The problem is that I think you may as well just tell kids that Santa Claus exists. It's just as big of a lie. It doesn't get better. Life is tougher, and it's a different kind of tough.
But people do
and I'm not saying that.
Grow up, but it's hard to say. It will always get better. But
right. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like it gets better is almost betraying that. Like it gets hard, and I think the more you impress upon like how difficult it is, it's like then you realize it's like, oh, maybe it's not that bad. So yeah, I'm sorry, I have very strong opinions about stuff, and I'm very happy with telling people to go F themselves or not give. Like it's Adam Carolla has a great thing where he says you should always keep a fuck you holstered and ready. So if anyone says something to you, just say fuck you. Yeah. And then they're shocked. They're surprised. Like right off the bat, you just said that. And I've sort of had that philosophy like on the internet and stuff. And even I did a magazine called Film Threat Magazine, which some of you are familiar with. I don't know, we had a section in the magazine, this goes back to the 80s, we had a section in the magazine called Hate Mail. So I actually encourage people to send hate mail, and then we would just make fun of them.
It's pretty easy to make fun of trolls.
Yeah, it's
really
easy.
Isn't hard.
And also, so I don't allow myself to get affected by it, and I make fun of it, or I'll retweet people that say horrible things about me. But now I've sort of stopped doing that because I feel like people were doing that just to get retweeted. But so fuck you holster would be great.
Although,
if you sort of carry that philosophy in life, then it's like no one's gonna. People can't bug you. Yeah. You can't. But at
the same time, I mean, when you want to get to the professional level, now this is a little bit different. You still have to be willing to work like with editors and other professional people and people who can critique your work to make it better. There's a big difference between like hating on something and giving criticism. Oh yeah, like I don't like if someone says to me like gives me a critique. I remember when I was first started doing television. This is a while ago, and someone said, you lick your lips all the time. And it was because my mouth was always dry, and it was just like, why didn't someone tell me that? Yeah, I think. They see things that you don't always notice about yourself, whether you're a talent or whether you're a writer,
Right,
it's good. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah, no, for me, any criticism, it's like, well, that's meant to be, it depends on what the intention of the person is. If their intention is to hurt your feelings, it's pretty obvious, and they're an idiot. Right. But if their intention is to make the thing better, I don't really, that sounds great. It's always helpful. Yeah, I'm immune to that. I don't care. I seek out that kind of stuff actually because it just makes my stuff better.
Don't ever take it personally, guys. Don't ever take it personally.
Yeah, but it's really, I think that's an important thing. The be yourself message is something you've seen so often, and I swear it's in every freaking kid cartoon for kids that are single digit aged. Yeah. But they need to add, Someone wants to ask about that. Would you ask me?
That's fine. So what's up with Fetishville?
It's called Fetishville.
Okay, because I thought it was spelled VL. And I believe Sarah Underwood?
Yeah, there's people involved. I really can't talk to you guys much about it. You can
whatever you want to
I can point to you to it online, but it's FETISHVIL.
Now wait.
You can look at it on Twitter, and it's fetishville.com.
Is this 18 and up kind of thing?
It's 18 and up.
We do have people in the room who are under 18. 18 and up only people.
18 and up only. There's nothing objectionable on the site. Right. I mean, it's clean, but I mean, Sarah motorboats people on our show.
Yeah,
I think
true.
I don't think that
Candace motorboats
well, they both do. There's a sort of dual motorboating thing. I mean, it's nothing worse than a Madonna video or something that Lady Gaga does.
That's fair enough.
But it's basically an animated show that I'm doing, and you can get more information at fetishville.com. What's powerboating? Is powerboating Bobby F. Johnston? you know, I don't know. There you go. But yeah, you can get more information about that. Thoughts on Walking Dead season 2? Can I just tell you something? I've seen all the episodes. I've seen them all.
Oh my!
And I'll tell you what happens. I won't tell you what anything.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers. I'm just saying that the finale. I watched like the finale before the break. So there's like I think 6, 7 episodes. So I finally saw the finale before the break. I watched it Sunday night. I can't tell you how, but I got it.
He's the man.
I know some people on the production. I know some people on the production. I'm
Chris
lucky.
Gore.
I'm lucky. So I saw it, and I was so disturbed by the last 10 minutes of it that I had to watch something else. I had to I got to watch a cartoon. I got to I got to take a break. So I went and watched something else. I still went to bed late. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. I had a nightmare. I haven't had a nightmare in years. I had a nightmare of, and what was it about? Zombies. I had a nightmare about zombies. And it was frightening. And I couldn't get back to sleep, so I just started tweeting about it. And Chris Hardwick is smart. He should not watch it till, and you know, I haven't seen these in HD. But yeah, I don't want to tell you what happens, but it's incredibly disturbing. I can't tell you anything. Oh no, it's awesome.
Okay.
I can't tell. And I'm also a huge fan of the comic, right? As soon as I knew the show was coming, I gave up reading the comic, but I still love it.
Although I hear Blair was saying the comic and the TV show are very different.
Yeah, they kind of interweave. That's what I think is the genius behind it. Is different characters die in the comic than die in the
So you
show.
You still don't know what to expect.
Yeah, and I like that. And what's interesting is too the guy. God, why am I spacing on the guy who wrote it? He's awesome.
Oh,
I love
who we're
Bob and Weave, Mr. Muckman. It's what I like is that there are opportunities. They went to the CDC. Robert Kirkman, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob F. Johnston.
Person who Googled it.
Yeah. Wait, I've got my phone right here. I could have done
Siri.
that. Expendables 2, no clue. Who knows? I'm not so much one on the speculation. It's like your opinion is as good as mine on that. It could be good. I mean, and there's things that I thought would be good that ended up being that I was really disappointed by, like the Bryan Singer Superman. I thought was really disappointing. So I don't know. But Robert Kirkman, what he said is he missed opportunities that he was like, oh, of course I should have done that. Like the CDC is actually in Atlanta. And of course, if that had broken out there, that would be the place where a lot of people would go seeking some sort of cure for what ailed the zombies. So yeah. Wait, you saw me at the night of the sci-fi party this year? Yes, that was me. I was there. What did I do? I'm sure I did something. I don't know. That's the one thing is look.
You do like to party.
I like to have fun. This is my thing. I like to have fun. And then what happens is I like to have fun, and then other people around me, they start having fun while I'm having fun.
No way.
And then
fun breeds fun.
We're all kind of having fun, and then this is how I get hired for jobs all the time. Or this is how I get people involved with my projects is that I'm a guy that they just like to hang out with because I make it not like work. It's fun and hanging out. And that's
how work should be.
Fun equals more fun. And then also, we're not doing anything really important here at work. Seriously.
Well,
I mean, with Attack of the Show. I mean, think about it. Yeah. Wait, I have a story about Inception. Remind me, Love Assassin 13. But what I mean is that, I look on people doing things that are important, like people in positions, in the health industry, scientists. I have very strong opinions about scientists. I think that our heroes today are morons and idiots. And athletes, while I love an excuse to drink a beer on a Sunday and watch athletes perform and do what they do, doesn't contribute so much to society. And I feel like people in the entertainment business think that what they do is wildly important. I have a story about that. Guy who was the head of Sony Pictures was sort of tired of everything we do is it's so important, it's so serious, and sometimes you'll work around people on shows that was this is really important, this isn't, we're at the end of the world. Exactly. It's the end of the world. Oh my gosh. This guy was so tired of that attitude in the entertainment industry, which I've seen it time and again. It's this sort of prevailing tension that is unnecessary. He put a sign up behind his desk that said this. It said, relax. We make shit people don't need. And that was sort of his mantra at Sony was, and I think that's an important thing to keep in mind in if you're going to work in the field of entertainment, is to just relax. We make shit, people don't really need it.
Yeah.
All this goes away, they're just going to go about their lives.
Most of us get into it because we love it, and sometimes we forget those things.
In the post-apocalypse, while I may look good in pleather and leather, let me just say, there's no need for what I do, what I contribute, right? And that's why there's a really good documentary that was at South by Southwest a few years ago about scientists and how the United States is falling way behind because there isn't that type of encouragement when it comes to be a scientist. And scientists used to be heroes. The person who solved everything and saved the world in the 1950s was the scientist. I mean, the scientist led us to go to the moon in the 60s, which led to many inventions that we enjoy today, like the VCR, well, not the VCR anymore, but the initial technology, the VCR, which led to the DVD player, but also things like crazy glue. I mean, there's so many innovations where scientists were tasked with make that happen. And I feel like that spirit has been lost. And I feel like, I'm not trying to be political, but we don't need a jobs plan. We need to actually make something, like a battery that will power everything, and it's like this big, and it fits in your pocket. Or at least
encourage kids to
be
interested in science.
We need to applaud the scientists, and I applaud you.
We need more like superhero scientists.
That's why whenever
save the world through science.
I agree, because you can. I mean, really.
And Velcro.
Velcro, yes, Velcro, which it's also known as hook and loop tape. I love Velcro. I mod a lot of things. Like, if you follow my Twitter, I'll tweet out some of my mods and I make stuff, and I use Velcro quite a bit. Duct tape is good as well. Ocean Chevy. So yeah, fax you a bowl of soup. And Batman's a scientist and a detective, and that was cool. Batman, Glaive 32746. Batman was a detective, and they showed that in Dark Knight. You really got more of like that he was using science to figure out stuff that the cops couldn't. So I really hope that spirit continues, because I really think that is how we solve everything. You know, I mean, unfortunately, I think we're sliding into idiocracy. Yeah, doctors. It's really a lot of people in skilled positions now. They're not from the United States, frankly. Boy, I'm really sad. And let me tell you something else. Get off my lawn! Get off my lawn! Yeah, no, I love Crazy Glue, WD-40, Mr. Monkey Man. I'm a big fan of that also. Yeah. So I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. I'm actually going to a screening tonight. I'm going to see the Harold and Kumar 3D movie, 3D Christmas movie, which I can't wait. I want to see that. Cannot wait. Oh, the Inception story. Yes, thank you, Love Assassin 13. Okay.
We're going to have to wrap it up soon.
Okay, here's my Inception story. First of all, I love that movie. I think Chris Nolan is like a modern Stanley Kubrick. I think he is one of today's brilliant filmmakers. But if you think about the concept behind Inception, right, you need to plant an idea in someone's head. Right. And you're going to pay someone a lot of money to implant an idea in your head. I guarantee you, if I walked up to you and I said, dude, you look really fat in those jeans. And then I hired a couple other of my friends, my sort of actory friends, to walk up and go, you sure you want to wear those jeans to work anymore? I guarantee if 3 people tell you you look awful in those jeans, you will never wear those jeans again. And I will have implanted an idea in your head.
Another one I love?
You can apply this to whatever. Yeah. Yes, I recommend Thor on Blu-ray. Yes.
I was actually talking with an editor on this. She was telling me the same concept about implanting the idea. And, and the thing was like, don't you feel itchy? Like, isn't that like kind of itching you right now? And then and then I was like, girl, don't say that.
Exactly.
It works.
Oh, I'm real. So I think that while it's an amazing action film and there's all these deeper ideas, I think Inception, it kind of falls apart when you start to think about it for a second.
So common sense.
Well, like for example, I don't know if this was actually on the show. But I was at the junket for the movie 2012. They fly me to these junkets sometimes. And what was interesting is at the junket, they had 3 2012 experts, right? So this is the Roland Emmerich movie, 2012, the action movie, with John Cusack's in it. It's a lot of people in this cast, right? It's a disaster movie. And there were these 2012 experts, and all of them had, experts. They had opinions about, because the Mayans had predicted the end of the world. Nostradamus, a French scholar, also predicted the end of the world, which he wrote in quatrains. And I remember reading Nostradamus when I was a kid and getting incredibly depressed. That, the world's going to end. What's the point? The man with the blue turban is going to just kill us all. The world's going to end. And the Mayans say that the world's going to end in 2012.
I thought that wasn't that the Mayans said it, but it was just like...
The Mayans, basically their calendar ends, and they say that the world is going to end in 2012. So there were 3 2012 experts at this junket where we had seen the movie, and they were explaining to us kind of the philosophies behind 2012. Some people said that there would be solar flares, which would knock out the power grid in the world and basically set us back to basically medieval times, practically. Like basically,
Victorian.
Yeah, Victorian. Yes.
I love Victorian fashion. I'm cool with that.
Exactly. Or like that the world would end, or just like some cataclysm, some major cataclysm, and maybe spiritual awakening. And I raised my hand at the end of the junket, and I said, "Let me ask you a question. What if, in the ancient minds of both Nostradamus and the Mayans, they had actually foreseen the trailer for the movie 2012? Because if you think about it, to an ancient mind, if they saw in their heads, right, someone from 1,000 years ago saw the trailer for the movie 2012, they'd think, oh my God, it's fire and brimstone, the world's going to end. And everyone burst out laughing, and then the 2012 experts were angry. They were so pissed off at me. They were like, they were in a huff. They walked. Yeah, but one guy came up to me. One guy came up to me and said, "That's a very valid point, because if they had, they could not have predicted modern media. What would they compare the internet to in the mind of someone from the 16th century?" Right. So one of the guys, we got in this whole conversation of what if people from the 1700s in, say, colonial America watched Star Wars. Just take a print, original edition, not the special edition, and they went back in time and just showed Star Wars to people from the 1700s, right?
They'd be like, wow.
They don't even talk in a way that we could understand. It would be difficult. It's sort of a form of English, but not exactly English, right?
Older English.
A lot of, older English, and then also phrasing that we would not, there'd be a disconnect. You'd still understand each other, but a disconnect. But what was great was this anthropologist went on and on about how they would interpret Star Wars through the mind of someone in early colonial America, saying that, like, they would see Darth Vader as the devil. Luke would be a Christ figure, and they wouldn't understand exactly what it is that they were seeing. They would think that we wouldn't even understand necessarily, different planets, they wouldn't.
How are those boats flying? They don't even look
exactly,
like
how are those boats flying? I mean, that was, so.
They're the horses.
Precisely. So, I think that's an interesting concept. Of course, I do like to think about a lot of things that are a complete waste of time.
But that's what makes
so
it
there you
interesting,
go.
Chris Gore.
They would speak Cockney English, right?
Indeed.
I have a guy I used to work with at Film Trip magazine who's Scottish, and I could barely understand him. I could barely understand him.
It's a different
so
way of
yeah,
saying English?
Thank you, Mr. Monkey Man. I haven't been drinking. I'm our silent.
No say. Our silence is a joke.
I usually you kind of know from my tweets if I've been doing that.
Yes.
But so wait, Hero Pat, I'm extremely interested. Well, thank you. You should come see my stand-up show.
You should.
You should. Yeah.
You should follow him on Twitter at that Chris Gore and find out when he's doing his stand-up, so then you can go see it.
And I'm actually writing a book right now.
You are?
I'm writing a book.
Awesome.
Well, I'm working on a book about, I don't even know what to call this book, but I'm working on another book that it's called Celebrities Poop. And it's basically exactly like the Everyone Poops book, except with like all stories about Tom Cruise poops, Oprah poops. Oprah's poop looks like this, and it's all like these children's drawings that I'm doing. So, because it's sort of,
kid's book.
It's a kid's book, like Everyone Poops is. And you want a pony? I can't really. Tom Cruise. I'm sure he poops.
But maybe they're
maybe they poops like in pellets, like rabbits do. I wish I could
not getting enough fiber.
Poop like that. Well,
you can't just have less fiber in your life.
I think about poop, like, let me just, not to get too personal, but I have lived with women. I've lived with women. Like,
I live with a guy.
You live with a guy.
I do.
I have lived with women. Let me just say, I have never seen evidence that any one of the women has ever pooped.
Really?
I don't know what the secret is. I don't know how they did. Now me, I go for standard, you light a match and you do.
Right.
I look for skid marks on the bowl. If I see any, I will clean that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very neat and organized. Yeah, there's strange things that are needlessly alphabetized in my life. But let me just say that I don't know how I have never gotten a straight answer from a girl.
You're never going
to.
And
I'm never going to. I know. I just don't know how they get away with it.
Yeah.
How do they? Yeah. You shower every time after. See, there's not always the time. What if you're in a public place and I don't know, man. Like maybe I just think about that stuff a little too much.
Maybe.
You think so? I probably do.
I
probably think about that stuff a little too much.
But we actually kind of need to wrap things up.
Oh, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
cool.
You were fabulous. You need to come back.
Oh, thank you. I'll come back.
Absolutely.
I'll come back.
So for more Chris Gore, you can watch my Tag of the Show and follow me on Twitter at that Chris Gore. Where else can they find you for other stuff if they want to chat with
just go to chrisgore.com or look me up on, I'm on Facebook.
Google the man.
Facebook is, my page is facebook.com/I like Chris Gore.
Ah.
See? I should have put I hate Chris Gore, except there is already a I hate Chris Gore group.
Really?
Oh, wait, one more thing I actually want to say before I go. I'm starting a podcast.
Really?
I'm starting a podcast. It's next week, yeah. I like Chris Gore. Thanks, Yodabari288. I'm starting a podcast, and a lot of people have bugged me. Why don't you do a podcast? Why don't you podcast? I don't want to do a movie podcast because I think that's too obvious. I have too many thoughts on things. Yeah. That are unrelated to movies.
There's stuff to you outside of movies.
Not on Nerdist, although you should bug Chris Hardwick and say why is Chris not on part of the Nerdist network? Say that yesterday. Really? You did? Good.
Someone did.
Okay, cool. My podcast is called Pod Crash. And the premise behind it is I'm too lazy to do a podcast. Mm-hmm. So I just appear on other people's podcasts. And then I run audio clips on my show. So for example, I was on a show called Proudly Resents. I was on a show about sex advice. So I just go on other people's podcasts and then I take the audio and I put it on my podcast and then I answer people's questions and I kind of, I complain about how I can't stand the sound of my own voice. So it's called Pod Crash with that Chris Gore. Mm-hmm. And I wrote a song which I sing. And I will talk about anything on the show. So in a lot of the shows, like I'm just going to be on the most bizarre podcasts. I'm going to be on I'm into crafting. So I'll be doing a crafting podcast. I was on a sports podcast. So I just take the highlights of the most interesting sort of goofy bits, not always related to myself. And then I also have guests in the show, but I'm not having any celebrity guests. They're basically just friends of mine that come hang out. Mm-hmm. Like my friend John is one of the weirdest guys I know. John is awesome. My friend John Barato. And he's a weird dude. Once, this is how weird John is. Like, he won't answer my emails. So what I did once, I wrote my friend John an email. So I wrote him an email, and I printed out the email, and then I put it in an envelope, and I wrote his address on it, and I put a stamp on it, and I mailed the email. And then I called him a week later, and I said, "Hey, John, did you get my email?" Finally... Mm-hmm. Finally, but I recommend doing that. That's like a funny, you should do that. So some of the stuff I'm saying is from my stand-up act. I talk a lot about sex on my stand-up act, oddly.
So?
I talk a lot about that kind of stuff.
Fun.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about I've been doing it. I haven't really talked about doing stand-up. So, yeah, sure, I will come. I will wherever you invite me. If you can get me, I will. I'm at that Chris Gore. So imagine what I've said at this chat, mm-hmm. but faster with a beer in my hand and then going on for like 20 or 30 minutes.
Well, I've already gone on for 34 minutes, almost 35. So we do pretty good.
Stand-up DVD.
Without the beer.
I'm building up to having enough material I think is good enough to possibly do like something for a DVD or a CD or something.
That'd be cool.
But and I'm toying with titles for my CD. It might be called Celebrities Poop. It might be called Celebrities Poop.
If you got a good thing going, why not?
I am. Yes, I'm I'm not joking. When I tell you all this stuff I'm doing, this is stuff I do because I listen to like 10 hours of DVD commentary a week, and I have wireless speakers all through my place. So I just, I can't sit down. I get to like, I like to be making something. So, and I'll be tweeting out pictures of my Batman costume. Well, I'll tell you what my Halloween costume is. I'm going as Batman.
Nice.
But here's what I'm going as. I call it Batman's Bad Night. So I'm going in a Batman costume that is ripped and there's like blood all dripping down, and I've got I basically like holes all in my costume, like basically like Batman got the shit kicked out of him, and I'm weeping tears, and I'm holding in my hands a pair of green briefs and a pair of red briefs, and I'm crying like I just had the worst night at work. This job sucks. Kicking back a few drinks. So it's really just me going around as like Batman, having just got off work and looks like crap. So
concept.
You'll see the photos this weekend if you follow me. But I'm not responsible for anything that I tweet when I'm been drinking because I like to say that. Not that that's going to get me anything, but there you go. Thank you very much. I really enjoy talking to all you people. I do try to reply. Oh yeah, and tweet questions for Pod Crash, because I'm recording. I've got like 4. I've got it banked, but also I have to get it approved by iTunes before it can actually go live in the stores. So look for it in the next week. I'm sure they'll plug that on Attack of the Show. So yeah.
Exciting.
Thank you very much, everybody. I've enjoyed talking too much.
That's okay. We enjoyed having you talk too much.
Oh,
that's
thank you. Really, to everybody.
Yay. All right,
Take care.
We're going to leave. We'll probably be back tomorrow, and then Monday will be Halloween, and I don't know if all the guests, but I'll be in costume, so we'll see you then. Okay,
It's my Professor X imitation.
Good night.